Here at Baltic Brands 2019, we have our guest Les Binet from adam&eveDDB UK, Head of Effectiveness.
That's right.
So, congratulations on very effective lecture.
Oh, thank you.
On fame, and it's how you harness it in the brands. Nowadays, we want everything fast, and now, but you're suggesting that you have to build it.
I mean, yes, there is a tension between the short term and the long term, and you do need both. You need to build brands long term. You need to build relationships with people long term. You need to build fame long term, but also you need to sell stuff right now. And that's hard, but it's not impossible. I mean, in the talk I mentioned the work we do for John Lewis, the department store. And that's a brand that's been building up its fame over the last, I think, 9 years. Year after year after year, taking it up to a higher level. But they also have to sell stuff in the 6 weeks in the run up to Christmas. You can do both.
But then it's like 3 steps forward, 2 back, but the one remains solid.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes, that's right, yeah.
That's how you do it.
So they get that big wave of sales in the run up to Christmas, and then what happens is next year, they, after Christmas is over, they're at a slightly higher...
Patience is a value of mature people.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Does marketing and advertising has enough maturity to be patient?
That's why you need people like me, you see. I've been building up my brand for 32 years.
Fame can be very seductive.
Yeah, I mean, fame is a great way to pull people in to a brand. In a sense, when you get it right, what you're doing is you're making everyone in society part of your sales force.
You mentioned the catch and fire, the graph, the catch and fire, the famous up there. But how not to burn out? I mean, how not to that fire?
Oh yeah, no, that's a good point actually. So that is one of the problems with fame, is if you're not careful, you can burn out, and that's what happens to celebrities, isn't it?
Amy Winehouse.
Yeah, exactly. Fame is probably much more corrosive for people, individuals, than for brands. Brands don't get turned into alcoholics, or don't burn out on drugs, or get caught with hookers. Maybe. Fame. You do have to be careful, because fame is something you need to protect. If you're famous, you can't get away with bad behaviour. Yeah,
you can't.
No.
That's much more responsibility.
I can think of a brand that had that. If you think about Volkswagen and the diesel emissions scandal, with fame comes responsibility. But if you get it right, fame and trust and love can slightly insulate you against things like that.
And as far as we are here in Baltic Brands, can you name some famous Baltic brands you have noticed?
No. I've only been in...
that was honest.
Yeah, I've only been in Latvia for a few hours, and this is the only place I've seen, basically. So
you're doing well with your fame.
It depends if you were to include Scandinavia as part of the Baltic region, then there are famous Scandinavian brands, but I don't know the Baltic very well. I've hardly ever been here.
Well, thank you, Les. And any suggestions for the future for the brands? How they can inoculate the ability to balance out the short and long term decisions?
Well, you need to invest enough. You need a great creative agency, so a big budget, a great creative agency, such as DDB, and you need that balance between long-term and short-term selling. There's some science to it, but ultimately, the people who really make it work are people like you, creative people.
Yeah, thank you, Les.
You're very welcome.